Hey everybody! Most of you are probably already familiar with MREs like this one, which are great for hunting and camping or to have on hand for emergencies. An MRE is one complete meal that is ready to eat, and it's basically made up of an entree, dessert, side, drink, candy, and crackers with a spread of some sort. To give you an example, here are the contents of one random MRE that I have. This one came with peaches, grilled turkey with potatoes, a grape drink mix, a chocolate bar that they call a sports bar, an oatmeal cookie, vegetable crackers, an MRE heater bag, peanut butter, a little accessory pack, and a spoon. Standard MREs like this have many different meal combinations, which is great if you like variety and will eat pretty much everything, but some people have food allergies or are lactose intolerant, and other people like me just prefer to eat my favorite things. I'm really not a fan of certain MRE flavors, so I always found myself opening these and mixing and matching the items to make full meals that I would enjoy, and that's why I finally decided to make my own MREs. I just ordered all of my favorite MRE components individually and turn them into complete meals. So here is one of my homemade MREs, and here are its contents. One main entree, a brownie, an applesauce, crackers, jam, a powdered Gatorade drink mix, sport beans, a waterproof match kit that I made, paper towel, toilet paper, a wet wipe, an MRE heater bag, and a spoon. There are a ton of different MRE entrees, sides, and desserts that you can get. I've tried quite a few, and a lot of them are actually pretty good. For entrees, my favorite entree by far is this barbecue shredded beef. I think it tastes delicious. And for MRE desserts, I've tried cinnamon buns, cookies, and pound cakes, and this brownie is my favorite. I think it's the best tasting and the most moist. This blackberry jam is also my favorite MRE condiment. It tastes amazing. I actually did a taste test to compare it with several different brands at my local grocery store, and I think this beats them all. It's so good. And the MRE crackers are great because not only do they go great with the jam, but they're also great crumbled up and added to the barbecued beef. There are 2 crackers in one package, so I think it's a really great item to include. I think it's nice to also include fruit. Sometimes I use MRE pears and sometimes applesauce. I have regular applesauce and one that's called Zapplesauce, which you squeeze out of the bag so you don't need a spoon. This one's more convenient, but I think the regular applesauce tastes much better. For powdered drink packets, I tried several brands, as you can see here, and they all taste pretty bad, so I went with these Gatorade packets that are cheaper and they taste great. I think that they taste exactly like the bottled Gatorade. I also wanted to add a little caffeine to my MREs, so I ended up using these caffeinated sport jelly beans. I like these because they're convenient and you don't have to use it all at once. You can just have a few and then save the rest for later if you want. And just for variety, sometimes I put in regular non-caffeinated sport beans. And I also occasionally add in a Starbucks instant coffee pack. I really don't like the shape of the normal MRE spoon, so I got these really strong Kirkland plastic spoons, which are shaped more like a regular spoon, and they are made in the USA. One little thing that I really like is that they've made a change to the way you open these newer MRE meal pouches. On the old ones, you had to tear across the top to open them. You can see this one has 2 notches here and also here. So you'd tear it, eat, and then tear it again to make it easier to put your spoon in as you got to the bottom of the bag. But on these newer ones, the notches are here and here, so you can tear it lengthwise instead. This style pouch is more convenient because then you can eat out of it like a bowl, which makes getting at your food a lot easier. Plus your spoon doesn't get as messy since it gets lower in the bag. And here you can see what the shredded barbecued beef looks like. One other thing I'd like to mention is that you should always test all your gear and do a trial run before heading out. I was originally going to use this standard style MRE heater, but when I tried one I had just bought, it failed. So I tried several more and they all failed. They didn't heat up at all. So I'm really glad I tried them before sealing all my MREs. Even though they cost a little more, I've decided to use these meal spec bags instead because I've never had one fail. I did do a video on these previously if you would like to see how they work, and I will put a link to that below down in the description box. I assemble an MRE like this. And then I vacuum seal them using my food saver. I really like that I can see what's inside each bag, but the food saver bags aren't nearly as strong as real MRE bags, so I have been doubling them up to make each one more durable. And after they're double bagged, then I date them and store them in a small Rubbermaid tote. I usually prefer eating Mountain House, so I have way more of these on hand than I do of MREs, but MREs do have some advantages over freeze-dried food. First, an MRE has more food and a lot more calories. My homemade MREs have at least 1,230 calories, whereas this bag of Mountain House only has 550 calories. So it's much more filling and it gives you several different things to eat or snack on throughout the day if you want. Second, an MRE can be eaten cold if need be, which is super convenient. A Mountain House bag is way lighter to carry with you, but you have to have about 2 cups of water to make it, and you have to boil it to make your meal. The MRE, on the other hand, has a heater bag and only needs a little water to activate the heater. Normally when I go camping, hunting, or fishing, the majority of my food is Mountain House, but I do always take a few MREs to put in my pack or in the boat as a backup in case I don't have the ability to boil water. One big advantage that Mountain House does have over MREs is shelf life. The bags have a shelf life of 12 years and the cans are good for 25 years. The recommended shelf life for an MRE is about 5 years, but that really depends on the storage conditions. I keep mine in a pretty cold room to extend their life as long as possible. So freeze-dried food and MREs each have pros and cons, and that's why I use both for different situations. My homemade MREs weigh just about the same as a standard MRE. They actually weighed exactly the same until I added the toilet paper and then upgraded to a meal spec bag. Now mine is 1 ounce heavier than the standard MRE, but I do think it's a little smaller and easier to pack. For cost, my homemade MREs did end up costing more than just buying standard MREs. I got free shipping on a lot of the items, which helped to keep the cost down. And I tried to always buy items when they were on sale, but this MRE still cost me around $13 to make, which is about twice the price of a regular MRE. That does include the 2 food saver bags I use to package it, but it does not include the coffee since I rarely put that in. To me, $13 is totally worth it though, to love every single item in my meal, so I would gladly pay that to get everything that I want. Anyway, I think it's really fun putting together your own meals, and I will put links below to where I ordered everything, in case you want to check out their websites. If you have any suggestions on how to make these MREs better, just leave a comment below. And thanks so much for watching today. Bye!